Thanks for joining us once again for your update from the city of New Hope. Time to chat again with the mayor to find out what's new and coming up in the city. Welcome, Mayor. How are you today?
Hi, Dave. Just fine. Picture behind me is actually from my deck as the moon's rising. So I thought it was kind of cool to show.
Moon rising right over the golf course. You see the trees, not quite green yet, but that's to come. We're going to talk a little bit more about the golf course in just a minute. But Mayor, let's start with scattered site housing, a great program within the city of New Hope. And you have a number of properties to update residents on. Let's begin with 3611 Louisiana. And we've got some fence work being done.
We do. So we had to take down the north and the south fencing when we did the demolition. And now that's the city's responsibility to put that back up. So we went to contractors, got a bid, and that'll go up probably the next week or so. There is a signed contract on that house, and they're going to close on the 30th of April. The house is just beautiful, by the way.
Fun to see. Another beautiful house that's one done and one coming is at 42nd and Boone. We've got some pictures to show here as well. Tell us about the progress happening here.
Well, the south house is the one that's done, and there's a purchase agreement on that. I believe they were going to sign. Oh, they did sign on Friday on the house, but they only got a temporary occupancy certificate because they still have to finish the landscaping and get that driveway in, and they have to put some front stairs in. So there's some stuff they have until the 1st of July to get that done, and then the people can actually move in. And then on the north lot, they poured the foundation on that, so that house is coming along. I understand they also have a contract on that one that's signed. It's not built yet, so they don't have a closing date on it.
All right, another closing date being talked about for 5692 Boone Place. What is happening there?
Well, they're going to close this week on the land. And as soon as they close on that, they're going to start building on that lot because they have a buyer for the house that isn't even there yet. So no idea when they're going to close on that, when they're going to finish it. But these houses are being sold before they're even started, which is really exciting.
Final couple of properties to talk about up on 50th Avenue North, one that was split into two. What is happening on that spot?
So we're going to go out for a request for proposal to builders. So what we do is we tell them the size of the lot, what we're interested in, and they'll come back with proposals for us. Not only proposals on what the house would look like on the lot, but the suggested price on that. And so then the EDA looks at those proposals and we'll pick a plan. I don't know if there'll be one builder or two on those lots, but as soon as that's done, they'll close on the lots and then they'll start building.
So as you see, a lot of activity in scattered site housing, all under the umbrella of community development, as is the business networking group. They have a date on the calendar here. What is coming up in April?
April 3rd, 8:30 in the morning. It'll be at City Hall. It's being hosted by a guy who has a business called Tony Goes There. And Tony will pick you up and drive you to the airport or just about any place you need to go. He says he's a nice, safe driver for women traveling alone. Also on that meeting, Elevate Hennepin will be there. And one of our employees, Brandon Bell, is now with Elevate, I want to say Honeywell, but Elevate Hennepin. So he'll be there telling you about the free program, how you can get some advice on doing a business plan, where you might be able to look for money, some accounting, and it's all free. It's just information on small businesses either getting started or just getting kicked off and want some free advice.
And again, that's coming up beginning of April. The website to the city, newhopemn.gov. You can find out more about that group and what they do there. Final note under community development, Mayor, is permits. And it looks like there's some similarity of what's going on for a couple businesses.
Well, this is awfully strange, but two businesses, Pub 42 and the YMCA, both got building permits to repair or rebuild their bathrooms. And I know at the Y, they're ADA accessible. They weren't at Pub 42. So they've moved that women's bathroom in and now it will be accessible.
All right. More work happening at those locations. Let's hop ahead to the police department. A lot of activity here, a lot of it outside of the department. And the first is the regular meal delivery. They are making some people very happy as they show up with hot meals.
They are. So this time, Officer Callio, our community service officer, did the delivery of the Meals on Wheels. But it doesn't matter who, they just love having these police officers come with these hot meals, and bless their hearts for being out there doing that. So some of the other things that are happening, a couple of our officers went to New Hope daycare to visit with the kids there. The whole idea is if kids can see officers in a friendly, safe place, if they ever need an officer, they're not afraid to call them. So that was just one of the things they were doing. Our community service officer, I have to read this so I don't get it wrong. Community service officer, our social worker, and the Joint Community Police Partnership Liaison went to the Multicultural Advisory Committee meeting. Again, meeting, there's two of them. One is with just adult citizens. The other one is at the high school. And so they go to these, again, just to be seen and listen to what different cultures need in the police department and what they expect from them. So I think it's really good for them to be out doing that. So a couple of them also went to something called Faith in Blue at New Hope Church. Again, they think the police officers need to be involved with the church community as well as the school community and just citizens in general.
Great to see them out and about. Another thing that we've talked about a little bit in the past, and more information now about growth through opportunity. And this is an internship program. What is the process of this?
So it's our summer internship program. We want to give young people a chance to put something on their resume, learn how to actually work, get a paycheck, what that all involves. I believe it's closed now, but they're doing the interviews of the people that have applied for it, and then they'll get those internships out to them. So I think it's a really exciting program that we're doing in New Hope with that.
Here's one other note from the police department, not something you think about happening, but definitely a big thing behind the scenes is record keeping. And I understand New Hope was the host of a record keeping group just recently.
So when we built the new city hall, we had in mind that we wanted rooms that we could have big groups in. And so two of our police administration staff hosted this biweekly meeting of the Hennepin County Record Group. Who knew?
Very good. I did not know they existed, but I'm sure they had a nice chance to chat at New Hope. Let's go ahead to Public Works. These folks have been out and about taking advantage of the nice weather. What are some of the tasks they're up to here a little earlier maybe than in past years?
Well, they're not plowing snow, and we still are looking for names for our two snowplows.
Right.
But besides that, they're maintaining the floors at the park shelter buildings. They were out trimming trees, and they were street sweeping. They repaired the curbs that they had to take out when a water main breaks. So they're putting those back in, and we had one more water main break. Now, this is an interesting thing. They assisted a resident with a broken pipe and water coming out of their lower level. It's just like, oh my gosh. I'm sure the water's coming out, and it's like, oh my gosh, what do you do about this? So anyway, they're there to help, and boy, do they ever help.
Yeah, great. They could lend a hand in that. Let's move ahead to Park and Recreation. A lot happening here, and it sounds like some of the local groups out at some competitions and activities and doing very well. What's the latest there?
Well, our little tumblers, those are the little guys in gymnastics. They placed third in Division 5 in the state tournament, actually. And then our dance team, the competitive dance team, did a competition in Chanhassen last weekend. They did fine. Summer registration and recruitment for summer programs is out there. We need people, young people, to work those summer programs. So this is the time to apply for them. Our community gym hosted the tryouts for the Golden Valley Little League. I'm sure that, it seemed like a really nice day and they should be outside, but when you schedule this a year in advance, you really need to have a place inside. So we've got the community gyms that have that. So that was really exciting. The Broadway musical that they're doing is going to be Bye Bye Birdie. So that'll be July 17th to the 27th, Wednesday through Saturday at 8 o'clock at the Performance Center. But the other part of that is they're doing auditions, and that'll start in April 19th and 20th. And you can go to page 30 in your Park and Rec book. And Dave is going to show that.
Yep, got it right here.
Page 30 tells you what time they are and where they are. So if you're interested in being in the play, now's the time to start getting your singing voice ready.
There we go. It is a great group. They have a lot of fun each year, and it's great to go see it if you are not in it as well. Let's talk about some exercise equipment. We've mentioned it in the past, and this is not your average everyday exercise equipment. This is meant to be outside.
It is. So there's a trail along Northwood Park, and they're going to put, I think, 7 pieces of equipment along the trail. So instead of just walking the trail, you can stop and do some leg exercises, do some arm exercises. So the city council approved that $40,000 to put that equipment out there. Since we didn't have, this year, we didn't have a park improvement project, this was just the perfect year to do this. So you can look for that late summer, early fall.
Couple other notes from Park and Rec. The family activity packs, always something to get people interested in. And again, how does that work and what are in these packs?
So there's a sports pack, so a football, a basketball, just things you might want to use. You can get that for a 2-week period. There's also a game pack, so it's kids' games like frisbees and things you can play outdoors or indoors. And then they have a craft pack. So it's approaching the time when the kids are going to be out for spring break. It might be a good time to look into getting one of these packs for just, so you don't have to buy the stuff and you don't have to have it in your house. You can just rent it for a couple of weeks.
Great idea. Let's talk about Adopt a Park, something that the city is very proud of, and 17 of 18 adopted, but let's get that last one adopted. Where is it?
It's Terra Linda Park. You just have to call Park and Rec, tell them you want to adopt the park. It can be one person, it could be one family, it could be a group, doesn't matter. They tell me it takes about 45 minutes to an hour to pick up one of the parks. You're expected to do that 3 times a year. They'll put up a sign that says the park is adopted by Susie Johnson or whoever adopts it. It's really a nice way to get the kids out so they realize that any trash they throw in the park needs to be picked up.
Yeah.
So just that one park. Terra Linda is at the southern part of the city, but you don't have to live near the park to volunteer to adopt that one.
Very good. Again, newhopemn.gov. You can find out more about adopting a park and getting involved there. You can also find out more about the golf course. And again, we mentioned it at the beginning. Some activity happening, getting a little colder here, but still people going inside and using that great clubhouse.
So the course is open for play.
Right.
However, if it freezes, if the greens freeze, get frost on them, they won't let anybody on them. But in the afternoons, it gets a little warmer. It's awfully cold out there, so get out your long underwear if you're going to go out and play. But they are taking tee times to play there. The clubhouse is still being rented. It was rented for a baby or a bridal shower this last weekend, so they still don't have all the equipment there because they still have rentals. They'll continue those rentals until the league starts.
How about over to the ice arena? Let's talk about activity there. And I understand a lot going on still, only with one sheet of ice, correct?
Well, they have the skating exhibition. The skate school has this exhibition there once a year. It is just adorable. They had, I think, 5 little ones. They were like 3 and 4 years old that could hardly stand up, let alone skate.
Right.
But they managed to skate out onto the ice and wave. And then watching the kids that have been in the program for years and how polished they are, it was really a nice event. They have this every year. It's free and it's an hour and it's really fun to watch. So the other thing that's happening at the ice arena is they took out the ice on the south or in the north rink. And when I say take out the ice, that means what they do is they turn off the compressors. And so the ice just kind of melts and they have fans going to get that out. Once the ice is out, then they have to prep the floor for painting, and they'll paint the floor and then they'll put the ice back in there. In the meantime, the men's hockey league has been playing on Saturday and Sunday evenings. They're now playing also on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings, and that'll be all in the south rink. So we keep renting these rinks out, what's open, but there's a lot of this shoulder stuff that's going on, the shoulder season, they call it.
You bet. And let's go to the aquatic park. Final note here in Park and Recreation. They are busy. Understand there's some people in the pool, but not doing what you might think you do in the pool. They're doing a little repair work.
They are. They're actually in the pool caulking the joints. So what they do after they take the water out of the pool, they sometimes put some water back in just to hold the lining of the pool down. And so now they've pumped that out, they're recaulking the joints. And once those are settled, they'll put water in again but the pool isn't going to open till June 1st. So it looks like it should be open, but there's just a lot of prep that goes into having it open. So June 1st, if you want to be a lifeguard or you want to work at the pool, now's the time to apply. Not sure if they're full yet, but you can always try it, apply and see.
Speaking of job openings at the city, let's hop to HR and talk about a few positions here. One is with the maintenance department and the other with the police department. What's the latest activity there?
So the maintenance worker at the Public Works, that went outside to hire. They got 25 applicants. So they're scoring them and they will then start interviewing the ones that have been scored, and they'll hire a worker. And the other one is the police office person that runs that. She's actually retiring. And so what happens is you have to post the job internally first. And that's pretty much with all the jobs in the city. So if there's somebody internally that wants to apply for that, they'll do that now. And that if we don't get 2 qualified candidates internally, then it'll go externally. So it's a very long process to hire somebody, but we're working at it.
Very good. 2 or 3 last notes here to bring along. The first is the New Hope Good Citizenship Award, and there's still time to apply either yourself or nominate someone else, correct?
You have until the end of the month.
All
This
right.
is a great time to thank that neighbor who's bringing in your garbage can, or, well, would have shoveled your snow if we had any snow to shovel. Just doing those little things to be a good citizen, a good neighbor. So you can do that by going online and getting the application, or you go into City Hall and they'll give you one. If you don't want to do that, you can simply call City Hall and they'll mail you one. But they have until the end of the month to get that in.
Let's go to the West Metro Fire Rescue District, and they were out and about with a food drive going on just this past week, and I understand great success.
They were out. They have these big boots. Actually, they're firefighter boots, and they go to Aldi's, and they were at Olmsted's, they were at Hy-Vee and Cub, and basically looking for donations of food and or money. So they collected over 1,500 pounds of food and about $3,000 in cash. All of that goes to the local food shelves just to buy more food. This is a busy time for the food shelves, and it's going to get busier with the kids out of school.
Thanks to everyone who helped out and made that a success. A final note to pass along. We've talked a little bit about the Citizens Academy. Again, Mayor, what is that and what can people be looking for to maybe get involved?
Well, we have a police academy in which people learn all about what the police department does. Well, we thought, wouldn't it be great to have a citizen academy so you can find out what happens at City Hall? So you'll come to City Hall. I believe it's either 6 or 8 weeks they're looking at. And, learn what the accounting department does. Learn about community development, the park and rec department. Just see what's going on. You'll go over to Public Works and see what's going on over there. Learn about your city and what's going on. It's free to sign up. Of course, there'll be a limited number of people. We're just working on that. We don't have any dates on it yet, but I'll let you know when we do know.
Fantastic. And again, want to mention the guide here. This is a great way to find out about park and rec activities for all ages, right, Mayor? So even the young ones like this little guy or the older ones might find something that they want to do. So look for that booklet, or if you don't have one, make sure you stop by City Hall to pick that up. And again, the website to the city, newhopemn.gov. You can find out everything about what we've talked about and even much more today. Mayor Hemken, thanks again for your time this week. We'll look forward to talk to you again next week.
Thanks, Dave. See you then.
Learn more about the connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.